Hello again. Welcome back. Once more, this is Becca, going by Nightcat or Nightcat's Meow, most places when online. And welcome back to another week discussing Linden scripting language. Now, last week I went over a bit more about avatar detection, so naturally this week I'm going to cover a bit more about what you can do with that and a few examples. One of them, you may notice I'm not up in my pretty little loft. I am in fact down here on my sim floor, a sim which is likely to be getting rebuilt again within a couple of months, because I have a shot at getting some actual activity here, which would be really cool. But anyway, more on that at a later time. But since I've gotten a lot of good reaction to videos that discuss things to do for RP servers and for sim, or for role players and for sim setup, I've actually got something to show off here that is based on the collision detection I showed you before. It would also work with volume detect. It would not work so well with sensor. You'd need a little bit more clunky processing and a lot of constant checking of location. But anybody who's played a tabletop role-playing game that was run even moderately well is aware of how a good game master or dungeon master, depending on how old school you're getting, can describe a lot of things that really give life to an environment. And anybody who's then gone over to roleplay in Second Life has noticed, though we can do an awful lot to construct the visuals, there's some of that detail that just doesn't carry over well. Setting up background sounds is an inconsistent experience. We have no way of describing tactile or scent type information, and actually crowding an area with just the background characters and activity would chew up a lot of sim resources. So I created something that lets me go through and largely simulate that effect, and I'm going to demonstrate that right here. We actually want the chat window open for this. There we go. I walked in there, and as is stepping off the streets of southern Calabashi City into the parking garage of the lofts, plunges into a dimly lit concrete box. The scent of motor oil, dirt, and slowly decaying rubber fill the space, spiced with the strange smells from the vegetarian co-op. In the back, the elevators of the actual condo homes sit where the grime is the thinnest. I also have a couple others of these set up. This one says, the lofts, formerly the Eaton Manor Hotel, before Black November. It was a storyline event for the sim, don't worry about it. Now replenished into condo apartments and a small shopping area. A low murmur of passing shoppers and lounging locals. Street toughs and lower to middle class folk mingle alongside the smell of freshly brewing coffee from the baristas in the corner. That would be this little area here. We go back across. It actually gives us a different description. Actually, no, that one gives the same description, sorry. This one will give you the different description. Leaving the parking lot to the streets of Calabashi is a contrast. The sound of Basozuko, it's a Japanese word for biker gangs, I apologize if I'm spelling or pronouncing that wrong, can be heard in the distance, as the gleaming spire of the Cyberdynamics building dominates the skyline. As the wind shifts, the murmur activity from Cargo Town to the west can faintly carry. So you saw as you were going in or coming out, it gave you two different descriptors keyed to the change in environment, coming into the parking garage or going out into the city proper. This is based on the same methods of avatar detection I was talking about before. Specifically, these two invisible prims. It detects when you walk across one and then the other, and actually knows which order you're crossing them in. That's how it actually determines which description to give you. So let's build one of these with predefined text information. Again, eventually I will go through and show you how the more complicated version actually works. But right now, we don't need the super complex version. you'll just create a simple block for when somebody will trigger while walking into or out of a space. You'll link them together, and then you'll need to know which one is which part. We've done this part enough times, you should be well familiar with what's coming. String. Oh, silly of me. Got distracted by my cat and didn't close that off right. Hello, precious. Hello, pretty kitty. All right. So the inside is 1, the outside is 2. New script. There we go. My crappy memory for spelling. Yay. Come on, mouse. Stop getting stuck. All right, so the first thing you're going to want to do is know which side is being struck. So if detected link number 0 equals 1, owner say, and actually we're going to set this up to leave it in as a debug protocol. Always a good thing when you're dealing with anything even a little bit complicated. Debug equals true. If debug, owner say, inside trigger. Else if I've always told you, remember your semicolons, love your semicolons, worship the semicolon. Inside trigger, outside trigger. Okay, so we're properly detecting those. So the next thing to do is establish your messages. String hello equals Since we're doing this on an open say, we have to give it a channel. Hence why it's say 0, because 0 is open chat. I've been doing a lot of code in Visual Basic lately. It doesn't have semicolons, so I kind of got out of the habit. Welcome to my world. Thanks again, coming in soon. Welcome, hope you enjoyed the stay. Now, of course, that's triggering on both of them. So how are you going to clear that? The same way I did before. But we've made sure that they trigger. So list keys equals. This establishes that there will be a list and it will be remembered through the entire program. So the first thing we do upon detection is key who equals detected key 0. And we can actually do a few things with that. Key who equals detected key 0. The first thing we're actually going to do is change this to instant message who. And this actually serves as a good example of local variables. The key who is established inside this if statement. It's completely taken out of memory the moment this statement is finished, which is why I can create it again with the exact same name down here. A more efficient way to do that would actually be to put it inside the collision detection, since it's used through the entirety of collision detection. So putting it here is more efficient. It's created once and held onto as these are checked. It's one line instead of two and gets the exact same work done. So you'll see a slight variation in how this behaves now. You get the different color of text. And it actually didn't clear out that time. That's an interestingly unexpected behavior. Let's see what would happen. As the collision starts, that actually does exactly what we want it to do, but in an unexpected way. All right, what we're running into, it doesn't clear it out of memory in the time it takes to cross the other thing there. That is an interesting quirk, one I did not know would happen. Thus proving, occasionally, I don't know everything. I know it's a big surprise. But that's depending on the amount of time it takes to clear stuff in and out of memory. Let's not rely on that to control our code. Let's go ahead and make this more robust, which means that it can deal with a wider range of circumstances and can't wind up I don't think I can get that edited out perfectly, so please forgive my housemate's sneeze there. I know it's not very professional to have that in. But moving on. So what we're going to do, instead of relying on that little interesting quirk, is set timer event 10. Actually, again, efficiency. We don't need to have it here. I've been doing a lot of code streamlining lately, so it's been really on my mind. All right, what this did is anytime somebody walks across it, it sets a timer event. They will empty the list of keys and then set this to 0. You don't need to have it go through and make sure that you remove them in any given order. If you have 6 people walking over this thing, it will just reset the timer every single time one of them does. So the only way this is going to cause you a problem is if you manage to have enough people walking through that they run out of room to hold all of the keys. In each of these, we then go if, actually I don't need to look it up, I can just quickly glance at this to remember the specific code, and that is place. There it is. List find keys who. What this does again is it's looking for where in the list being keys, which we establish up here, you find who. So if it's the first one, you'll get 0. If it's the second one, you'll get 1. And if it's not in there at all, you get -1. So if place is less than 0, then you're going to keys equals keys plus who, and then you run the rest of this. And farewell, key who. You don't need to do any casting on key to name since it will output a string anyway. And then down here, we have instant message to a certain person. We just change that to welcome and farewell. Ah, forgot to put in the what key. There we go. And actually forgot the same thing here. That was silly of me. Because this specifically has a required argument of a key, we had to give them a key. There we go. Now that's all set. And it says, welcome to my world, Rebecca Wendell. I hope you enjoy this day. flying so I don't trigger the other one. Walking up. Thanks for visiting us, Rebecca Wendell. Come again soon. So there you have it. A way to add a personalized greeting and farewell to anybody coming in or out of your location. You can also use this for creating a nice little, what I call GM commentary or descriptive information in a roleplay environment, or a good welcome message or farewell at a club or business. And I'm sure you'll be able to come up with plenty of other valid uses for it as well. So thanks for watching, and as usual, good day, good luck, and happy coding.